Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a quick video going over the 5 books that I read recently. It's not just this month, but it's just books that I've read in the recent times, and I just wanted to go over them and let you guys know what I thought of them. The first book is actually a manga, and it's by Sosoki Natsume. So I don't know if I said that correctly, but it's a really cute story about this cat that basically gets adopted into this family. And it's retold and illustrated by Chihiro Kubota. So I believe this is kind of a remake, which I think it's kind of nice. The art is really wonderful. I haven't read this book recently. This has been a while, so I think that's one thing I have to change, where I should review books as soon as I read them so I remember more. But from my understanding and what I remember, it's basically a kind of setting related book, so more than like a proper storyline. I think it's more about the setting and the characters and kind of just going through like day by day. It's not high stakes. It's one of those animes that you just watch in the background. It's more about the ambiance, but as you can see, the artwork is really nice, and if you like animals, I think this is a really good book to pick up. Also, if you're someone who kind of mixes up characters all the time, I appreciate that they have diagrams. So it's obviously a manga, so you have to read it from this side. And the first page, it kind of tells you who is who. And it goes over each character and kind of their background and why they are the way that they are. So you can always refer to that. The second book I have to show is super random. It's actually Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. It's part of the Twilight trilogy, and I think it was my fault because I picked up the third book. I've only watched the first movie, and I did not read the other 2 books. So I don't think it's a fair judgment for me to say, but I didn't enjoy this, and it is a chunky book. I usually try not to DNF, so I did get through the book, but I did find myself wondering like when I could finish it. So on and off reading it in between other books, it took me about, I would say, 6 months to finish this. Even though it's a thick book, the pages are narrow and the words are quite large, so it shouldn't have taken me so long. But I just kind of thought the writing was flat, the characters didn't have any appeal to me. It was very one-dimensional. I can see the allure for like preteens and people that love romance, and I generally don't enjoy romance in books or movies. So for someone like me, this is definitely not up my alley. But perhaps if I'd read the other books, I would have enjoyed it. But needless to say, I won't be picking up the other books in this series. The next book I have to share is Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud, and I believe he's a cartoonist, but he's also a New York Times bestselling author. I really enjoyed this book because I like to learn things, but in an entertaining way. So this book kind of goes over how comics are made and why they're made the way they are. Like if you see a character in the middle of the panel versus the side, or how the environment is drawn in different types of comics, and it references popular comics like Peanuts and kind of how they came to be. So I feel like you can learn a lot, but it's also really entertaining, and you do retain the information. So you can kind of see how the book looks. So you don't even feel like you're learning, and it's kind of weird because it's a comic about comics, so I thought that was kind of cool. So I had a hard time kind of giving this book away, but usually after I read books, I do give them away, but this one is just really cute. So I do recommend it if you are a comic lover or if you just want to learn about how they're made. So I'm trying to alternate between graphic novels and regular novels. So this one is a graphic novel called Cheer Up. And it's actually, I believe, a queer novel because at my library, they have different books for different, I guess, months that they celebrate. And I think this was for Pride Month. So they had this book and they were just giving it out. So it's about these 2 friends who are cheerleaders, and I guess they get together. And again, I've read this a long time ago, so that's one of the issues where I don't remember the story. But I believe it's just about these 2 characters and they build up their confidence, whereas she's a little bit more outspoken and she's not. And I think she's also trans, so I don't remember, but I believe so. And it also explores heritage and different cultural backgrounds and kind of how the families navigate what's happening and why the characters act the way they do based on their backgrounds. And I guess I'm superficial, but I really like the shiny, glossy pages. And I do enjoy a nice colored comic versus black and white at times. So this book was definitely good. And it was short. So it's nothing mind-blowing, but I do think it's a nice, fun read. And you can even read this while watching TV or something. So it's mainly for the artwork, and I really enjoyed it. The last book I wanted to share in my most recent read in December is actually called One Day in December by Josie Silver. Again, I'm not a romance reader, but my husband actually got this for me, and I thought, oh, it's a mood read because it's Christmas and it's literally December. So I've been trying to read more for that month or whatever's going on. So this book, I have a lot of thoughts. I could do a whole review on this also because I read it most recently. Josie Silver is a really good author. You fall in love with the characters, I guess, in terms of the way that they're described, but they're not good-hearted. The main characters, at least. I felt like one character was really wronged, and I also feel like the cheating trope was there, so I didn't enjoy it. And I just thought, in the end, the characters didn't really get what they deserved, so maybe I'm just vengeful. So I didn't really like the way that the characters got together after wronging someone. However, the book itself is extremely well written, and even though there's nothing really going on, just reading about the characters and their back and forth over 10 years and how the characters change, that was interesting. So I do like this author, but I did not enjoy the story. So I will say that much. So that wraps up my recent reads, and if you have any other suggestions, please do let me know. I will be making more book content. So this video was mostly about the books I read at a high level, but if you would like reviews and for me to go into the authors and backgrounds and what I thought of it, I can also make those types of videos. But I hope you guys like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.